Okay, so we just had a crazy surprise update just dropped for the game. So there are new points for Imperial Knights. There are new data cards for Imperial Knights. They updated all of the points for the Chaos Knights, so Chaos Knights will be tournament legal very, very soon. And guys, let me let you know right now, real quick. It is an anti-tank meta because Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights are cranked. These guys are really, really strong. The Imperial Knights index is just blisteringly powerful. It's already crushing it in tournaments right now, and it just got like absolutely bonkers, insane points drops in some of their data sheets, which is going to give them all sorts of new resources. If you're playing singles, oh my goodness, buckle in because I'm going to go through all of it right now. So here we go. I'm just going to start with the actual index itself. Let's start with the index itself. When we look through the index, not too much has changed. Basically, the same rules are pretty much in place. Let me just make sure I have all this centered so you guys can see it. Cool. So code chivalric, whatever. You still get 3 CP for killing a warlord, and you get to choose between lay low the tyrant or reclaim the realm, and this has not changed. So you're always going to choose lay low the tyrant, and each time a model is selected in your army to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll, and you can reroll 1 wound roll. Exceptionally powerful, very, very good. It's basically what is making knights so darn reliable right now. Now, the thing that has changed is really going to be when we get into the data sheets. I did a cursory look here. I think all of the stratagems are basically the same. There might be one that is, I don't know, a slight difference, but we'll be okay with that. So then what happens is we look at some of these data sheets. We have the Armiger Helverin, and this bad boy is very fascinating because nothing changed except he lost 1 point of toughness, just like your Chaos Knights, and he went from OC8 to OC6, also just like the Chaos Knights. So then what we do is we go, okay, cool, so they lost some OC, they lost toughness, and they now also, when they bracket, they lose even more OC. So Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights are both going to get a little bit weaker at just brutal OC primary denial games, but they're still quite good at it because OC6 is still more than your basic 5-man squad of OC5. So they're still pretty good at stacking OC and denying, but it's just slightly worse. But what they're going to gain for that is shocking. So Helverins, Warglaves, T9, it's the same thing. Then all of your big knights, basically the same thing happened. They dropped to T11 from T12, and they gained some wounds. So instead of 24, or I think it's 26, and for the Warriors and Helverins, instead of 12, it's now 14. So a huge buff in their defensive. I actually think dropping from toughness 10 to T9 is not really the biggest breakpoint in the game. It's pretty decent for Meltas, but outside of that, I can only think of a very few niche scenarios where strength 9 and strength 10 is a big difference. Maybe like knobs with power claws, it's a big difference for. And perhaps like Sanguinary Guard if they're led by a captain in Liberated Assault Group. So it's like if you also had Fist for dinner last Tuesday, maybe it matters. But having +2 wounds will always matter. So the datasheets got a huge buff, I think, in the fact that they went up in wounds, a little bit less toughness. The big knights losing toughness actually does matter because T12 to T11 is a breakpoint. But there's something else that happened. It wasn't as simple as the Imperial Knights just lost some toughness. They also got one of the craziest points reductions in like the history of Warhammer. So let's take a look at this. So I've got the Munitorium Field Manual up. These are the new points. So thank goodness the Helverin and the Warglaive did not go down in points because those things are already too cheap. Canis Rex went down by 70 freaking points. If you guys don't know who Canis Rex is, he is the Hand of Freedom. He is the breaker of chains. He is one of the most BA models in the entire freaking game, and he just went down by 70 freaking points. At 380, this dude is unreasonable value town. He is exceptionally powerful. The only difference is that he lost a blip of toughness, and he gained some extra wounds. Big super knights, they can still walk through walls. They still have the super heavy walker rule. Let me just pull that up on screen so you guys can see it. I'll be at the top of this. So they still have the super heavy walker move, which means that they can walk straight through a wall that's more than 4 inches in height, and they just get battle shocked if they roll a 1 on a single die. You're basically going to do this all the time just to allow yourself to stage wherever you want to stage. It's extremely powerful. So Canis Rex is shocking at that cost. And then when we look at just the massive points decreases on all of the other big knights, it's pretty dang dramatic. So the Crusader went down by 80 freaking points. He didn't lose guns. He just went down by 80 points. The Knight Errant went down by 45 points. The Knight Gallant went down by 35 points. Now, some of these models, 35-point drop, you went from T12 to T11. Okay, I can kind of see it. But when we're doing these, like, 115 points for the Knight Castellan, I still don't think you would take the Knight Castellan, mind you, but 115 points is a massive decrease. The 80 point on the Knight Crusader is just bonkers to me. We're seeing 85-point reduction on the Knight Warden. Guys, this is crazy. We're moving into its big Knight City now. Big Knights are making a comeback, and it's going to be a really, really big deal. This is another huge one. 100 points off on the Knight's Castigator. So I am really, really interested to see what some of the new Knights and the new Chaos Knights builds are, because the Chaos Knights, if you don't know, basically got the exact same treatment. Here we go. So basically, yeah, the Chaos Knights, everything went down like crazy. The Knight Abominate is only 325 points. Let me tell you guys, there's going to be a lot of lists out there that are just running triple Knight Abominates now, because their ability, which is a 12-inch aura, or maybe it's 9 inches, but it's not actually an aura, it's a psychic ability, that at the end of the movement phase, every enemy unit within 9 inches, I believe it's 9, it could be 12, forgive me if I'm misspeaking on that one. It's either 9 or 12. On a 3-up, you take D3 mortal wounds. And since it's a psychic ability and it's not an aura, these things stack. So you can run 3 Knight Abominates, have 1 unit within range of all 3 of them, and they're just going to take 3d3 mortal wounds. And that's going to apply to basically every single enemy unit that's within range of them. So they have some really, really crazy synergy when you start taking them in triplicate. You take them for the mortal wounds ability. You take them for the fact that they actually do have decent melee. You take them for the fact that they are dirt freaking cheap. Their guns aren't that great. I understand that. People are going to say, oh, but Jonathan, their guns aren't good. It's like, yeah, but that's not why you're taking them. That's actually really, really strong. Rampager at 335. I actually don't think that's much cheaper than it used to be, but it is still a little bit of a reduction. Very, very good. The Tyrants at 395 from over 500 previously is a brutal difference. And I actually think Knight Tyrants are exceptionally powerful in the current meta. So there are going to be some crazy, super strong Knight builds we're going to see. We're also going to see some very interesting allies because, as I said, Canis Rex, 70 points cheaper at 380 points is a very interesting choice to be allied into another Imperial faction. I'm just thinking about my Blood Angels army right now. I have Mr. Dante with his Sanguinary Guard. That's 360 points. Canis Rex for 380 points is like, he basically does more or less the same thing. He's a little bit slower, but he hits exceptionally hard still. And he gives you access to like those free CP usages, which is very, very strong. So Canis Rex as an ally is looking freaking spicy right now. So I'm very, very interested to see not only how dominant your Imperial and your Chaos Knights are about to be, but I'm also really excited to see how this can change up like some of the ally stuff. Now, if you're worried that the game's about to be broken, the game is not about to be broken. What's going to happen is, since these armies are really strong, the meta is simply going to have to shift, and we're going to have to adapt to the fact that there are a lot of monsters and vehicles in the game. This is actually going to be pretty dang useful for certain armies. So if you have access to like Haywire, which, a lot of your Harlequins have Haywire. If you have access to Haywire from Scourges, some of your armies that have your anti-monster vehicle dev wounds attacks is going to be eating. They're going to be really happy. I actually think your Chaos Knights and your Imperial Knights becoming more prominent and more powerful is going to be a good thing for the Orcs, because Orcs have so much anti-monster vehicle action that this is going to be a pretty dang good thing for them in my not so humble opinion. But basically, this is all very interesting. I want to know how this is going to change the meta. It is a pretty big shakeup, and we are going up into the World Team Championship season. So are we going to start seeing a lot of the teams start, packing with Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights? I don't know. Truth be told, I don't know. I have my suspicions, but I'm going to keep that under freaking wraps. I think most of you can already go ahead and infer it. So pretty cool changes. Guys, start building some lists because I'm excited to see what you come up with. Quick and short one for you today. I have a baby in the other room who is currently a little unhappy with these changes, so I'm going to go calm her down. All right, guys, have a great freaking day. Crump on. Bye-bye.